Now we're recording. And what I want to talk about is, I'm looking a little rough, I think. But what I want to talk about is that the weatherman down here in Texas, I'm in Dallas, Texas, but the weatherman said that this is the coldest and earliest fall. I can't remember whether he said in the history of Texas or in a long time. But at my age, during the time when I was a little girl, this was normal. You had fall. We had seasons. Up until this year, we didn't have seasons. We just stopped having seasons. But when I was a little girl, I just had a thought about something that I was supposed to have this off in the car, and I need to go get it. But anyway, excuse me. I'm sorry. Mind wanders. I have to bring it back. But anyway, the weatherman said that this year, 2018, was the first time ever in a long time that they'd had this much rain and this cold with this type of temperature in October and this early. Well, when I was growing up as a little girl, this was normal. This was normal. It was before integration. They had during the fair time, they had one day for Black people, African Americans. Back then they call us other things, colored people, and then another name that they had. But anyway, back then we had one day during the fair that lasted, 2 weeks, 3 weeks? We had one day. So everybody would get their outfits and everything, because they knew they'd see their friends they hadn't seen in a long time. Because all the buses from all over Texas would bus African Americans, and some would take a trip up here. You knew family. If you knew family, you would stay with them, because back then, as an African American or a Black person, you couldn't stay in a hotel. They didn't have hotels unless they were Black hotels. And if we had anything, it was taken. It was taken. No, it wasn't good for people of color to accomplish or have anything. Now, 1 or 2, maybe 3, even 5, maybe. That was okay. But a whole nationality, a whole race, to have accomplished something, that was a no-no. But anyway, here in the United States of America. But anyway, we all would get our little outfits together and try to look just as cute as we could look and enjoy the fair. And at the fair, that's all you would see, except for people maybe behind the counter, was African Americans. Okay? So, then back then, the weather would be, you would have a fall, you would have a winter, and then spring. But here in the last, 10 years, maybe a little more than that, 10 years, 15, 20, Texas has not had seasons like it should. But the weatherman, being young and maybe from another state, didn't know or didn't understand. But when I was growing up, we had seasons in Texas. We had summer, fall, winter, and spring. We didn't have 80 degrees in December. That just threw me completely off. We didn't have that, okay? But to me, with the weather being rainy outside, this is October, 16th, 2018. Being cold outside like that, it's rainy. Yes, it's a lot of rain. And but we had more farmers back then. We had more farmers. We don't have as many farmers now. We had more vegetation in Texas, where we have less vegetation now because our values have changed. And some values that change are good, and some values that change are not so good. I just realized I was holding it so down. But some values are not so good. Not to value the nature, the earth, what God's put here. To me, that's not good. Because where else can we go? And if you want to go to another planet, that's a whole nother conversation. Excuse me for looking away. But, yeah. I just wanted to talk about that, what the weatherman said. When I heard him, I'm like, okay, he's a young man, isn't he? He didn't live back then, did he? Anyway, that's all I wanted to talk about, is that the weather is nice and cool. It's in the 40s, where in some states that's not, that bad. But here in Texas, people gone into shock. They don't have winter clothes. They're not prepared. And see, I grew up with, you had to be prepared, especially when fall and winter are coming, spring right in there. You always had to be prepared. You always had a blanket in the car. I had different things in the car. Because when I grew up, like I said, we did not have integration when I grew up. There was no integration. After integration, things start changing, okay? My grandmother, who was half white, her mother was all black. She was raped by the man she worked for. But anyway, my grandmother came, and she was half white. And the one man on my mother's side. And one man told my grandmother, we were going in the filling station, needed to use the bathroom. And the white man was standing over there. And my grandmother looked at the bathrooms. One said white, one said colored. She looked at him. And the white man asked her, ma'am, can I help you? And she said, well, I'm trying to see which one I should go to. He looked at them. He looked at my grandmother and said, well, ma'am, you can go to either one you want to. And I think we were standing there beside her. So, like, ma'am, because we were looking like we were African American. She wasn't. And you can go to any one you want to. And that's what she did. She went to the colored one. But anyway. Yeah, that was back then. And you're always prepared. That's the way we grew up, to always prepare and be prepared. Always keep you plenty dried beans and different things in jars. That's what I grew up with. I mean, they say it's a new thing now, having dried food and be prepared for food that'll last 25 years and all that. I mean, that's the way we grew up because we were treated in a way as African Americans, colored, black people, that you had to be prepared. The only thing I think that we've lost is our connection with each other. We had to be connected. We had to love each other. We had to see after each other. Because if we didn't see after each other, nobody else did. But anywho, I started out with the weather. And what I was, excuse me for looking like, yeah. Anyway, that was what it was about. The weatherman saying, oh, this is one of the We've never had a fall to come in like this so soon and so early with the temperature. And I'm looking, I'm going, and I know a whole lot of other people my age or older going, no, you're wrong. You just hadn't lived long enough. Okay. In his lifetime. But in mine, yes, there was a time when fall would be fall. What we were, we were like, what is Thanksgiving and it's what degrees? Yes, we weren't used to that. Well, let me shut up, stop, because I've gone beyond my time. Thank you for listening. Please subscribe, hit the like button and the notification button, and come back and visit me, okay? Y'all be blessed. See you now. I hope I do this